I need to go get my sunglasses.
Why? For what? Oh. Because he thinks he's a badass detective who needs sunglasses.
Does it feel weird that you know that it's now recording and I'm not even here?
It's like the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Shut up. I don't need that energy right now. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, it's already on. All the audio's up. People can see I'm not wearing actual shoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now with Becker.
I'm wearing Nike USA socks from my high school basketball days.
Your cat is on meth.
I hope I got that. Hey, bitches. What's my hair look?
You're giving major, like...
Seems like you're trying to find an insult that's not going to hurt too bad.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to work on that.
But I'll save it for the roast.
Oh, yeah, so all 12 of you vote on whether we should do a roast on the podcast. Me first and then
Roasting
all my friends.
Ben.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the biggest roast, and we'll give you the backstory at a later date, is if I find the lesbian girl.
Oh, no!
Her name is Mary. If I find her, Mary, if you're out there, you have a twin brother, and his name is Ben. And your photo from your Tinder profile is my contact photo for Ben.
Welcome back to With Ben Becker. I'm Ben Becker, and you are with me, and so is she. She's Nina Musolino.
And I'm with Ben Becker.
She's with Ben Becker. Everybody's with I can't do it. It's so many words.
Everybody's with Ben Becker.
Well, now because it's
How
like
much
the title.
Ben? Well, you know, like one of those tongue. Can you say twice fried wings 3 times really fast?
Twice fried wings, twice fried wings, twice fried wings. No.
See, it's hard.
Close.
It's hard. It was good. So at Hawker's, the restaurant here in East Nashville, really fucking good. But
Never been there.
on the menu, the appetizer, it's like Korean fried wings, and they're called the twice fried wings. And one time my sister and I went to order, and
That's the devil's language.
She could not say it and was just sitting there laughing. And she's like, twice fried wings?
Because it's like
It's just funny.
twice fried wings. You're going
Your
back
cat
and
is
forth.
on meth.
You got to just live with it.
Smoke meat, not meth.
Yeah, do that. But, I mean, smoke meth too if you want. I'm probably going to cut that. So
Dang.
today we have many things planned. Well, one big thing planned. But I just want to talk to you first because nobody's gotten to meet you. This is like my BFF. This is my day one. A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
Till day whenever death do us part. But we're not married. It's just a married couple fight, but not a married couple. But we can.
That's too far, you know.
I feel like we can
Now
fight
you
like a
just
married
made it
couple.
weird. Well, we definitely could. We have.
I mean, don't tell me I made it weird.
We have.
You just don't like that I called us married because we're, you know.
We're just old.
All right, so Nina doesn't want to marry me. It's fine. We'll just get over that.
Well, are you asking?
I mean, I thought we had a deal that if we're like 35.
Okay, no, we did, but I think the number that I said was like really low, realistically, because
You said 25. I
know,
moved it to
which
35.
is really low.
It's 35.
that's still too young. We
35
should have
is fine.
initially been like, if we're both single when we're fucking 75.
Well, I don't want to get married if I'm single by 75.
Okay,
I've
well
made
then cool.
some.
Then we just won't get married.
I've made some life decisions at that point that have changed my outlook on marriage. If I'm not
Okay.
married by then.
I see. I agree.
Or we had some spouses that just didn't make it in the video game as long as us. But either way,
That's true.
This is my BFF.
They went into the metaverse.
Nina
In
Musolino
the new world.
was forced into my life, and I was forced into hers by our parents.
This is true.
They did. See, I'm telling you, arranged marriages. It's exactly like that. You just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, but it was before I came out and told everybody that I'm gay, so.
That also happened. There was a point where I
Yeah.
was like thinking we were going on a double date, and I was the date with Nina, and I was in the car with Emily, and Emily had to break it to me like, "You're not."
Oh
on-
my gosh, that was the
I was like, "What do you mean? It's like 2 girls. I would be one of the dates, right?" And she's like,
Ooh.
"No, you're my date. I'm the girl." And I was
Yeah,
like,
Nina's
"Wait, what do you?"
the
It literally
girl.
was like 5 minutes of her repeating the same statement over and over and over.
And it's like, what is that? What are 2 girls doing together dating?
My little
Doesn't make
brain.
sense.
I'm like,
You're like, they can do that?
what?
Not where I'm from.
But yeah, no. So we went to Waffle House. Yeah, and then that was kind of where I figured that out. I got that in my brain at that point. I feel like everybody knew but me. I was just kind of stupid.
Well, no, because I didn't say anything until the second semester of freshman year.
Oh, so it was around that time. Yeah. I this entire time thought that I just didn't put it together.
Until later.
Okay, all right. Well, from there,
Surprise.
Not from there. Before that, our parents were like at the orientation lunch where all the parents were like going to lunch while the kids went to while the students went to go do something else. Our parents met, and my dad and her dad were talking about baseball or something, just, getting all manly or whatever. And they're like, I have a daughter, you have a son, let's go freaking make them friends. And then we had to do like this awkward, like, hi, I'm Ben. Hi, nice to meet you.
It was one of those honest.
It was so weird.
It's one of those meetings where, like, your parents introduce you to people, and they're like, you guys should be friends, and you're like, go meet them, and then you're like, I'm never going to see this person ever again. Like, that's exactly, I think we both were kind of like, cool, hi, nice to see you.
We were just doing it for our parents.
Like, we're never going to, like, speak ever again.
But then you were like...
Here we are.
You were like the
5 years
only
later.
person I still had any relative contact with because of that, though, once I got back to school. And I wanted to make a song.
Oh, God.
And I hit you up. I was like, yo, I knew you sang because Mom had sent me, you'd done a Kehlani remix.
Oh, my God. I took that down from the internet.
I could find it. somewhere. From there, we went to like a gazebo. I was like, yo, can you just meet up with me and like listen to this song? Maybe you would want to do a duet. And you're like, sure. You liked it. And we did some like songs, but I don't think we were like friends till a couple weeks after that. I think we went to the CAF or something. I got to meet all your friends. And that was when I was like, I like this girl. I like all these people.
Early college friendship.
It was just no one knew who to hang out with, who was cool, who wasn't.
It's the beginning. It's just like starting high school over again.
For real.
Like I guess they don't really do orientations at high school. But, you have the same, you meet people at the orientation, then it's like, oh, you're comfortable around them because you know them.
You get comfortable with them.
Yeah.
I'll say this in a sec.
You what?
I'm about to say this in a sec on the mic.
On the
Turn
mic.
off the AC, it's so loud. I'm not running.
Oh.
I'm not hot anymore.
Well, I can't really hear it because I don't have the best hearing, so.
It's just a low hum that'll show up the whole time. It was just like nobody knew how to. Nobody knew how to act. Nobody knew how to be friends.
Can you tell we went to music school?
We're so musical. Do like a harmony, 3-part harmony, but there's 2 people. It just shows up.
Where do you live? Nashville? Everybody's like, meh.
No, people just answer singing.
People do that. People do
Nashville.
that. Yeah.
Just
Well, I don't sing, so I can't do that. But like,
yeah, you do. Stranded.
Now it's I, myself, and me. I'm stranded, floating on the ocean by myself.
See, right now there's nothing, but on the camera, Stranded's playing, and everybody's listening to you sing.
oh, that was freshman year me. Before my balls dropped. Which they sound like they did right now because I'm getting over a little cold, and I asked Ben to pitch my voice like up.
Like it's too deep.
I'm doing it right now.
But your voice always sounds, when you record your voice and listen back to it, you're like, that's not how you sound.
I know that I'm gonna edit. I know that I'm gonna edit your voice really high after you say that.
Please do it
So
and make it
easier.
the whole way. I hate, like when I hear myself talking now, I'm like, oh great, this is my voice.
I think people will forgive you, and hopefully this isn't the only time you're here. So, they'll get used to your voice as it goes.
You're like, damn,
for now,
bitch.
For now, damn, mama, where you get that voice on you there?
Damn.
Damn, son.
That's some shit.
Do you want to get into this little thing?
Yeah.
So, about 2 weeks ago, I purchased something online. And then a week ago, I got a cardboard box in the mail with just this suitcase or this briefcase in it. I straight up thought it was like a bomb. I thought somebody was like sending me it. It didn't have a good address on it. It made no sense. So I was like behind this banister opening it up under the staircase, and it's let me show you. Let's do it over here. We got 2 camera action going on.
Oh, I honestly forgot that one was there.
The Melancholy Killer. Don't know what this is, but we will find out. Never walk alone along my highway. Edgar Lee Dwyer. So basically, let me just keep that there for now.
Basically, we're gonna figure out who was killed.
We're going Nancy Drew on these mugs.
Like a like Clue, right?
Yeah.
Or like the murder
I think
mystery
it is.
parties, right? When everybody's like,
It's a big
it's a
mix
thing
of all
at parties where it's like, oh, come to the party, but one person is the murderer, and they do that whole. It was an episode of Schitt's Creek. Shout out Schitt's Creek.
And The Office, I think too. There's one.
Yeah, I mean they do it in.
They just.
I mean that's.
I think they
that's the
took
thing.
all those concepts, put them together for this, and we get like a box of Nancy Drew.
What if
basically.
they
But it is like
purposefully
Clue.
never like made it where you could solve
Yeah,
it?
where
So then
everybody
they
has
just
different
saw.
answers.
They're like, no, not even that, but just like they're sending these out, and they're like, this is funny because these fuckers are never gonna solve.
Oh, it's a prank. Like,
That's what I'm
you
saying. What if
never
it was a
figure it out.
prank? That
I
would
thought
be
you
funny.
meant they just don't give the answers so
No,
that
no, 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 no.
everyone gets
What if it
different
was
answers.
like it's like, oh, this murder mystery box thing, whatever, and then we fucking don't sleep for 4 days because we're stuck thinking about who killed, Bart behind the alley of the Dollar General.
Let's see.
Do we need to go over there?
I bet you there's no. We'll like start laying things out over there. Oh wait. I forgot about my character. You were wondering why I had all the golf clubs.
And ladies and gentlemen, Ben Becker has multi-personality disorder.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got the Beniverse going on.
Beniverse?
Yeah, dude, that's what my life is. Just
You
a
look
bunch
like
of Bens.
well, not every, I'm not gonna say every, but you look like, see, I don't even want to say it because I'm gonna.
It was a dark night. Been about 6 years since I'd retired from the force.
My skin is crawling a little bit.
I was back in my bachelor pad, just took the clubs back in. I got a knock at my door. Who could that be? I said. I walked out there. One briefcase. This is way cooler for me because I know there's really cool music behind me.
Well, now we know where the cat got the meth from.
I didn't know how to get it open until it took about 2 calls to a friend. What's your name? Are you Nina? Or are you like
My name is Rose Caldwell.
Rose Caldwell, the best lockpick investigator in all of this tri-state area? And together we make Clyde and Rose. I just made that name up. Wish I picked a different one. But my name is Clyde Forrest Hare. I'm done. That'll come back in at some point when I call someone else into the game. Oh my gosh, those do a lot.
Forrest Hare.
The Adventures of Clyde Forrest Hare and Rose Caldwell.
I told you about the Rose Caldwell story, right?
Nope.
Okay, freshman year at Belmont, my Twitter got hacked. Somebody texted me and was like, yo, what's up with your Twitter? And it was a stripper, porn star. And she changed the photos, everything, tweeted all these things, but the name was Rose Caldwell, like this woman's name. So it just became my alter ego and
That's
like
so
the running
weird.
joke of. Can I
Yeah,
take
we're
this
set
out?
up for this
Do we
to
have
be our little
record this?
territory, and then this is where we're gonna lay out our little murder board.
Shit, look at this. They
Yeah,
got
there's
some
like
jewels.
I think we get different clues in each one of these that we don't touch yet, but I would say these being on top are what we have, and probably this since that's his actual newspaper
Oh,
story.
well, here we go. Your package contains 8 items: letter from warden, incident report, fan club poster, newspaper article, string sculpture, chap book, necklace, and pen.
So does it tell us which one we open first?
No, that is the instructions, right? No,
No, it's poems.
that's the.
We might not get. We might just have to
That's
start.
the chat book. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, letter from warden. Let's look for that. That's what we need. Probably this.
Yeah.
Listen, friends of America, hello. Considered warden. Okay, so let's start with this. You are hereby receiving the following materials at a request of Mr. Edgar Lee Dwyer, according to the letter of instruction found enclosed in his will, or with his will. For our ease, we have included the materials in his suitcase, which he insisted you should also receive. Inside, you will find Mr. Dwyer's last possessions and a personal letter he wrote to you before his passing. Since Mr. Dwyer's death, we have established the rule of transparency here at the LFOA Cumberland. Or at LFOA Cumberland. We do not know what your relationship to Mr. Dwyer was, but we know that he is a strange man inclined to odd behaviors, and there's a chance you do not know him at all. We have therefore decided to include with his personal items 2 additional documents to help provide context into his life and the events surrounding his death. This is so hard to read. It's like got lines through it. I guess.
You know, it's the aesthetic.
The first is the official incident report on the riot, which may be related to Mr. Dwyer's death. So there's a riot.
Yeah.
The second is an article from the incident from our local newspaper. That's the one we got in your hand.
I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, this is going to be so fun. Stranger still, Mr. Dwyer asked that his remains be cremated, fused into jewelry, and given to you. This has been done at the cost of the state and effort of my staff. The jewelry
says
is
to
not
the one in the back. Okay, Edward.
Ugh.
Fuck.
Upon the shipment of this package, I consider our duty fulfilled. So the police gave up. LFOA, done.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we need to read the incident report because we don't know what the fuck what I can't speak today went down. This is kind of long.
Keep this over here. This is our first
Honestly,
piece.
did they do this at like Kinko's or something? Because it's really nice. Cardstock? Wow.
Ooh.
My high school
Kinko's.
reporting days are coming back. Incident summary, refusal to disperse, blah, 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 staff assault. Okay. Should I read it into the mic? Investigators have determined the June 10th, 2018 riot at the Listening Friends of America Cumberland facility was a result of a gang-related dispute over control of contraband drugs and cell phones, which sparked an hours-long brawl that left inmate number 23724 Edgar Lee Dwyer dead and several other inmates and guards injured. This is so long. Okay, the riot...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well,
it's going to take a sec
the...
before we have actual clues going into it.
Okay. Well, you can like edit this out, right?
We'll probably keep the whole thing in so everybody's kind of they want the info.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
okay. All right, everyone. The riot came at a time when LFOA Cumberland was implementing new reforms with its ever-increasing inmate population and its struggle to deal with the influx of gang activity. We should be taking notes, right?
You want me to do it on my phone? I don't know if that's a clue. I don't know.
Well, this is pen.
I really don't know if we're supposed to.
Well, you could do it on your phone, but I think in general we need to be taking notes.
Yeah, we
it's
should,
gonna be
definitely
easier.
have like a thing.
So, pretty much this prison was
For now,
implementing new
I
reforms.
don't know what to read.
So people were getting mad. I would write that down as a note.
So people in the prison?
The riot came at a time when LFOA Cumberland was implementing new reforms with its ever-increasing population and struggled to deal with the influx of gang activity. So they were creating more rules because
Reform in Penn started more riots.
Because of the riot, LFOA Cumberland has removed the leaders of several gangs and is in the process of implementing new strategies to prevent any such future events.
Gang leaders removed.
LFOA Cumberland's investigators have also determined inmate Dwyer's death was not a direct result of the prison riot, but rather the incident provided the opportunity for his assailant to commit the murder.
Okay, so
Dwyer's
not a result of riot.
We need the autopsy.
Riot was just a good opportunity.
On June 10th, 2018, at approximately 14:32 hours, 2:32 for people who don't understand military time, multiple inmates are released from living units 1, 2, and 3 for a scheduled medical call-out over-the-counter medication retrieval.
I got R&B music video vibes going on right now. The sun just came through.
Does this really look like an R&B music video?
I'm gonna close out. Keep reading.
Okay, no, leave it. Leave the light.
Does it look good? I feel like it
Well,
might be
I can't
over.
see, but like it feels nice in here.
Yeah,
'cause we're
I bet
reading
you that
about
actually
death.
looks really good on that table.
Upon exiting Unit 1, inmate Peterson, who has been identified as a member of the Orion Brotherhood, AB, rather than proceeding to walk to pill line, is seen by the yard supervisor, Sergeant King.
What's his name?
Inmate Peterson. He's a member of the
Peterson.
Aryan Brotherhood.
Did he break protocol on what they were supposed to do and was seen by another?
No, he
policeman?
just went. He turned right out of the unit and began to head out of bounds instead of going to get his pills.
Turns right, like during the riot?
No, at approximately 14:32 hours when they're released from their units to get their medication. Units 1, 2, and 3 are on a scheduled medical call-out, so then they go get their pills, but this inmate Peterson went towards the other units instead of going to get his pills. He's joined by several other inmates from Unit 1 who also head out of bounds towards Units 2 and 3. All inmates are identified as members of the AB. This group of inmates, seemingly led by inmate Peterson, joined a larger group of inmates from Units 2 and 3 and began to slowly move about the courtyard. This was planned. Okay. As the group of inmates continues to move through the courtyard, a second group of inmates identified as the Native Brotherhood blocks the path of AB. Both groups are now in standoff in the yard near the entrance of Unit 2. I'm getting Orange is the New Black vibes. And Jailbirds,
What
which is
group
the
blocked
prison in
them?
Sacramento. The Native Brotherhood.
Native
Brotherhood. I can
blocks.
see this happening.
AB, yeah, for real.
In response to this unauthorized inmate gathering in the courtyard, as well as their refusal to disperse, Corrections Officer Quinn is asked to exit Unit 1 to disperse the group. Corrections Officer Gold is asked to step out of Unit 2 to direct the group of inmates to disperse. Upon receiving notification that the group of inmates will not comply with orders to disperse, Sergeant King notifies the ship supervisor, Lieutenant Salerno, to get all available staff to respond to the yard. So all these people are seeing what's happening, and they're like, we need the lieutenant.
Yeah, it's all.
The significance of this event should be noted as it serves as the start of the inmate disturbance. Isolation and containment of this incident are not achieved due to the number of inmates involved, the staff becoming quickly outnumbered and surrounded, and the physical facility design. Write down the time, 14:32. Yeah, so they all plan to meet up
That's
to
before,
overthrow the staff. Got it. Yeah.
That's before the riot.
That's when everybody was taken out of their units to go get their meds.
So I'm gonna actually put.
But
at
then
14:32.
during that time is when they started to.
So I've got it where it's like this is the initial stuff, and then at 14:32 these things start.
And then at 14:40, corrections officers Cole and Gold arrived to support Officer Quinn. Officer Quinn quickly surmises that the standoff is between the two rival prison gangs, AB and NB, and calls for gang leaders to come forward and call truce. At 14:41 hours, inmate Stefan steps forward and assaults Officer Cole with his fist. While on the ground,
That's a good one, I guess.
inmate Stefan. While on the ground and attempting to restrain inmate Stefan, Officer Cole is then kicked in the head by inmate Hyde. Sergeant King, while assisting officers with restraining inmates, Stefan and Hyde, is then assaulted in the back of the head by inmate Gray. Members of the AB and NB begin attacking each other. So this motherfucker came in on the wrong time, in a heated moment between these two gangs. And then they started attacking the officers.
These are my notes. 14:40. Inmate Stefan starts brawl. Hyde adds. Everything goes apeshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good. We're still on the first page, aren't we?
A second. Officer Jackson fires a warning shot from the tower at approximately 14:42 hours. In response to the warning shot, several inmates comply with orders to lie down. However, some attempt to stand up and are redirected by staff to remain down. In response, all unit staff are notified by Lieutenant Salerno at 14:42 hours to secure their unit entry doors, and at 14:49 hours to lock down their units. Damn. Okay. The title is Disturbance Escalates. Following the staff assaults and warning shot, while unit staffs are attempting to secure the units, unit staff report that multiple inmates in the Unit 2 mini-yard and Unit 3 mini-yard are refusing to lock down. This creates necessity for staff to evacuate the galleries. The majority of inmates in the courtyard are still lying down at this time. In addition, there is one staff member and approximately 25 inmates from Units 1 and 2 in the cafeteria. However, at this time, the inmates in the cafeteria are not actively participating in the disturbance. Okay.
Right now in the 14:42, I just have unit doors called to be secured. Unit 2 and 3 refuse.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah, Unit 2 and 3 refused to lock down.
Okay.
Isn't that what it said?
At approximately 14:52, 10 minutes after the first warning shot, all inmates in the courtyard suddenly stand up and resume fighting in large groups around the courtyard. You should note, too, that they probably realize that they're outnumbering the guards. In what appears to be a response to unit inmates refusing to lock down. Yeah, so they resume fighting because they don't want to be locked down. A large group of approximately 20 or more inmates run to the cafeteria entrance, retrieving a metal sign pole from the yard. The inmates begin to repeatedly strike the cafeteria door and window in an attempt to breach the door or window. Inside the cafeteria, inmates pick up a selection of metal bleachers and repeatedly strike the door and window, also in an attempt to breach the door or glass. In response to what is believed to be a potential hostage-taking situation, Officer Jackson fires a second warning shot from the tower at 14:59.
Warning shot at 14:59.
So they all brawled and tried to go into the cafeteria.
For like 7 minutes.
The inmates do not react to the warning shot and continue to attempt to breach the cafeteria. Meanwhile, numerous other inmates throughout the courtyard area begin to encircle staff in what appears to be an attempt to purposely block escape routes, effectively trapping staff in the courtyard. So this has now become something where it's prison versus staff and authority rather than the Native Brotherhood and the other gang.
So it says they've used 2 warning shots already? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the cop's the one who fucking killed the guy. One of those warning shots is going to be a sus one. Keep that in mind.
Well, I don't think he was shot. We don't know how he died.
Yeah, we'll see.
With the large group of inmates in the courtyard now becoming more aggressive and blocking staff exit routes, Lieutenant Salerno instructs all staff to get off the yard immediately if safe to do so. The staff members in the courtyard make their way to the tower entrance and secure themselves in the tower. So they run. At 15:01 hours, significant effort is made to reach unaccounted staff. 15:01. Several staffers are located in a lockdown at various locations. Warden Tracy Lawson, prison psychiatrist Dr. Stephen Kaiser, cafeteria worker Bill Reynolds, and visitor escort Michael Mann remain unaccounted for at this time.
These weird names.
Can't speak today. Okay, so we don't know where they are at this time.
3 people.
4.
4 people.
Use of deadly force. In response to the totality of circumstances and fearing for the safety of staff barricaded in an office in the cafeteria, at 15:19 hours, Officer Jackson fires from the tower at inmate Peterson, located near the cafeteria door, striking him in the leg. 15:19. Although inmate Peterson falls to the ground, the other inmates do not seem to substantially react
to
the use of deadly force.
Peterson shot by who?
In leg, Officer Jackson.
Shot in leg by Officer Jackson.
And the other inmates don't really care.
In attempt to protect unknown staff.
The group of inmates picks up inmate Peterson and carries him to the medical door where staff instruct them to leave him and move away. Inmate disturbance continues. At approximately, we go back in time here now. At approximately 14:55 hours, following the staff assaults in the courtyard, an unknown number of inmates in Unit 2 and Mini Yard are reported as refusing to lock down.
So should I put these notes in line up here at 14:52 and put them after, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
I feel like I could. That would
Left unsecured, inmates in Unit 2 began barricading doors, covering control and gallery windows, moving laundry carts, a floor buffer, chairs, etc. out to the mini yards. Inmates also disable cameras by covering them with black ink on wet paper. The inmates also began attempting to breach the gallery and mezzanine doors using mop buckets, ironing boards, and broom or mop handles. At approximately 15:30, Unit 2 mezzanine doors are breached and inmates begin destroying caseworker office contents.
What unit is it? Unit 2 that
Unit
all
2.
of this is happening? So right now I have up, like I moved it into the middle where it's like 14:52. All inmates stand up and start fight. Probably knew they were outnumbered and didn't want to be locked down. Inmates beat door with pole. Metal bleachers used to hit windows and doors. And
In the cafeteria.
14:55.
That stuff happened in the cafeteria, or to get into the cafeteria. It was just hungry.
And then 1455, Unit 2, inmates disable cameras, block doors.
Yeah.
Is that all for that time?
For that time, yeah. And then at approximately 1530, the doors are breached and they begin destroying the caseworker contents. And then between 1530 and 16 hours, inmates in Unit 3 begin to start fires in the galleries next to the control centers as well as in the mini yard. Smoke begins to fill.
1530 doors breached, 15 what?
Between 1530 and 16, Unit 3 starts fires. And then while they're starting fires, Unit 3, inmates in Unit 2 begin attempting to break through the wall that separates the galleries. This sounds like some shit. With the smoke continuing to saturate Unit 3, at 1637 hours, Unit 3 cell doors are opened by master control and inmates are instructed to evacuate to mini yards. So once the smoke kind of got bad, they just opened the doors and were instructing people to go outside. This destructive, riotous behavior continues from approximately 1445 hours, June 10th, through approximately 1 a.m. hours, June 11th. That's long. What? When identified leaders of both gangs, Alex Ferguson and Trey Yazzie, declare a truce between factions. Okay. So that's when they stop, is when they declare a truce. At this time, staff regain control of the facility and begin the process of recovery.
Imagine that, though. Like, that probably totally happens. Like, there's just prisons where they lose control for a little bit, and they're all in one building, so they can't get out.
I know.
But, like, they're just like, damn, we gotta wait until these, like, gang leaders just make up. I bet you none of the guards in there know what's gonna happen that day. Like, they
No.
run shit until the prisoners run shit.
No, some of the guards definitely know, because it's definitely a real thing. Like, guards working with the prisoners.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not,
sneaking them
yeah.
in drugs and, like,
I mean, like, some
looking
guards
away
don't know
when
what the
they're
fuck
gonna,
they're gonna
like,
get into.
you know. Okay. Staff rescue. In response to several staff trapped in the tower, oh yeah, they're still in the tower at this time. Unit 2, Unit 3, the gym, cafeteria, and religious services, the staff rescue mission became a top priority for the initial incident commander, Lieutenant Salerno. A tactical plan is discussed and given the verbal okay from the incident commander. The first priority was the lone female staff member barricaded in the gym office. A hurried HOC RRS CCT squad with lethal weapons performed this rescue. So the right response squad and the correctional crisis team get her out of the office.
Okay. At what time does she get out?
Doesn't say.
I don't think that's honestly noteworthy.
It will down here. This is just kind of a summary. The first priority was the lone... Oh, I just read that. As an additional RRS CCT members and equipment continue to arrive, more rescues occur that take the team further into the facility, which involves more exposure and risk. The following lists the times, the number of staff, and locations of the rescue. I don't think you need to note this since it's laid out here. At 16:24 hours, Bill Reynolds was rescued from the cafeteria. At 16:30 hours, volunteer visitor escort Michael Mann was located near the cafeteria trash bins. At 16:45 hours, Warden Tracy Lawson and prison psychiatrist Stephen Kaiser arrived at the warden's conference room and established contact with Lieutenant Salerno. At 18:04 hours, 5 staff rescued from Unit 2. At 18:13 hours, 1 volunteer and 1 staff rescued from religious services. At 20:30 hours, 3 staff rescued from Unit 3. At 20:35 hours, 9 staff rescued from the tower. 4 remained for incident observation.
We're getting there.
Visitor recovery. At 16:30 hours, it is learned that 2 visitors, they were visitors, okay. 1 male, 1 female went missing while being escorted to the visitor center when the riot broke out at 14:41 hours. During the disturbance, both male and female are separated from their volunteer escort. The visitor had been scheduled to meet with inmate Edgar Lee Dwyer, who had yet to be escorted to the VC. At 16:35 hours, the male visitor is located in the laundry drop-off. The female visitor is safely located in the gymnasium equipment room. Both are found to be unharmed.
So that'll be a big piece of who the fuck they are.
The visitors had been scheduled to meet, so they both were meeting with the guy who died. But that's too obvious. They wouldn't do that if it was them.
And they both were different, completely unconnected people, and both got separated separately.
What?
Like 2 people who don't have, like they didn't show up together.
It doesn't say.
You know what I mean? Like
It just
2
said
different
2
people
visitors
show
went
up.
missing, but it doesn't say that they both, like, they didn't know each other. They could
Yeah.
have known each other. Maybe it'll say. Okay, the summary of investigation for the Edward Lee Dwyer homicide. Excuse me.
Burp.
Nice.
Rate that burp.
On June 10th.
That's a thing.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like the
Wow.
seriously, YouTube just shits on burps. They love burps, bro. They can't get enough. You just put hashtag burp. I put them in half of my podcast episodes. Just hashtag burp. People just imagine like 16-year-old kids trying to make their friends laugh. Like, look at this burp video I just looked up.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Elf.
All right. So glad you got that.
Shout out to Elf.
Okay, at approximately 23:41 hours, while conducting safety and security checks throughout all of the institution's facilities, staff discover a deceased inmate on the roof of the educational training building.
And that's him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I was like, damn it, we got more shit to deal with.
Arriving investigators quickly determined the deceased is inmate Edgar Lee Dwyer. Alongside Dwyer's body is an approximate 32-foot length of rope, wire cutters, and workman's gloves. Investigators determined Dwyer was in the process of an attempted escape when he died. A later autopsy confirms that Dwyer's death was a homicide. Cause of death is determined to be a broken neck due to the strangulation and bleeding from multiple lacerations to his chest and abdomen. No weapons are found at the scene. Investigators could not view the surveillance camera footage because, the disturbance. Investigators believe Dwyer was murdered after 14:55 hours when the cameras were disabled, and before 23:41 hours. So somewhere between 14:55 and 23:41 hours. So when the cameras were disabled,
14:55 and what? 21?
23:41. No other inmates were reported missing. It should be noted that the events surrounding inmate Dwyer's homicide are not within the scope of this critical incident review. LFOA Cumberland is the lead investigating agency and is expected to issue an independent incident report pertaining to inmate Dwyer's death. Note, there were no further major incidents to list. So this man's was found on the roof, and the cause of death was broken neck due to strangulation and bleeding from multiple lacerations to his chest and abdomen.
Yeah, I thought after I made that comment about him being shot that would have been the stupidest thing on earth, because that would have been a very easy investigation. They would have immediately
But
known it was
also,
a
I
guard.
feel like because it noted that there were 2 visitors there to see him, like that's obvious. Like maybe it is one of them and it's, we're missing the obvious. But floor plan. So this is the courtyard, right? And it started when Unit 1 left. Okay, these are the mini yards. So people are in here too. This is where he died, by the way.
Okay. These are the spots where this was becoming an issue. The calf is where people were stuck. Where's the place they were trying to break down?
All in here. Like, they started the fire in here, remember? Then they broke into the other units. But then, here's the main tower, which means this is where the shots were coming from. Cafeteria, breaking in here. The visiting area, which is where... No, the 2 visitors went missing, remember? They were found...
going from the visiting area. They were being taken.
But where were they found?
The gym and the...
The gymnasium equipment room. Well, it says the female visitor.
the guy was...
Oh, laundry in the gym. Laundry in the gym. So the dude was found here, and the guy was killed here, and the woman was found there. That's closer.
Yeah.
But then they brought that guy who got shot here. So there were other prisoners here.
Okay.
But he was found on the roof, so that's... Maybe he was trying to escape the fires. Anyway, here's the... This is where all the staff was. Huh.
Pre-incident intelligence. You want to keep going, or you want me to take it away?
Take it away, boss.
Pre-incident intelligence. There's very little pre-incident intelligence that leads to an incident such as this occurring. The review team did not hear from staff or inmates any specific details that an incident was to occur or that trouble was brewing. Post-incident intelligence. While conducting interviews, some staff noted that members of AB and NB had grown increasingly upset with each other in the weeks prior. The identified leader of both gangs, Alex Ferguson of AB and Trey Yazzie in B, were questioned separately as to, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in 4th grade. Separately as to the causes.
Need some help, bud?
It's written so like it's not written.
This is an incident report. It's
I know,
supposed to
I'm
be.
having so much trouble. Would cooperate with investigators. No, that. Were questioned separately as to the causes that led to the tension between the gangs. Neither Ferguson nor Yazzie would cooperate with investigators. They have since been removed from the general population, and the timeline as to when they may rejoin the prison population is under review at this time. Imagine getting banned from you get shunned from Earth, and they're like, no, we'll send you to a prison, and then you also get banned from there. Management of the incident. Incident management includes those activities that follow the formal designation of an incident commander. Establishment of the incident command post. Is this blocking your face, by the way? I'm tall enough, but I think you're
Oh, no, I don't think so. Sorry, I interrupted his reading.
We ain't got no rules here, Nina.
I'm just like really.
Quit it. You're breaking through the clues already. Like, we're supposed to figure this out. Yeah!
I know we're supposed to probably do this at a later date.
We totally are.
But let's just get everything out.
Yeah,
here,
might as well.
And then we'll move the
So Nina just tore off the bottom facing piece.
false bottom.
We got a false bottom in our little briefcase. She pulled out 4 things. One of them was a girl with a devil drawn on it.
This is a letter from Edgar to the one, which is us, because they remember the prison people were like, we don't know how he knows you, and the necklace says to the one.
Yep.
We'll wait on that.
So I don't think it was actually supposed to be that much of a secret, because that's the letter they were talking about being for us. We don't need to take that stuff out yet. Keep that in the pouch.
Why don't we just? Okay. I'm antsy.
Put that one back in here.
That's the only thing left in there. But that way we can close this.
Yep.
Okay.
Toss these. Let's make a nice little image over here.
Okay, so the guy who died, he wrote this book of poems because this is his name. Never walk alone along my highway. My highway? Do I have to read this whole thing? Oh my gosh, never walk alone along my highway. What if he was a stalker?
I think he was a serial killer, because I remember that from the...
Well, yeah, but it said to the one.
Oh, it's like a stalker of us.
Yeah, like he was stalking us because remember the warden was like, we don't know how he knows you or how you know him or if you know him.
Yep.
But the book is don't walk alone along my highway. So what if this person was walking alone and then he stalked them and then sent everything?
Possibility.
Damn.
Incident management includes those activities that follow the formal designation of an incident commander. There we go. I got through that sentence. Establishment of the incident command post and central control and subsequent actions taken to manage the response to the expanded incident. My goodness, these words just make it...
Need some help?
I might. We'll give it another page. This is where I'm like, teacher, help, please? What is this word? Once notification was made that multiple incidents were taking place, staff were dispersed to the conference room C, where Warden Lawson had a weekly scheduled meeting. However, Warden Lawson and Dr. Stephen Kaiser were not located and were thereby reported missing. This is the summary of like the management of the incident. As emergency staff were unable to isolate the control. I'm dyslexic. When it's like factually like if it's a book that's written like I would read and talk, I can do it. But if it's this where it's like reading from the way a cop would talk, incident was told.
You would have never made a good detective then.
Shut up! I have time. I have time. Give me a break. I just can't read.
I'm kidding.
No, if I can't read, I'm not going to be a detective.
Well, then you have to create these incident reports too.
No, this is the only time. Like I have to read sometimes on the podcast, and this is the only time where I feel like actually kind of a little bit got a little bit of that tism.
Just a splash.
A little splash of the tism.
I just might have like dipped my toes into the spectrum.
That's my favorite. Theo Vaughn always calls it the tism.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen that one little clip that he posted when he was talking about the massage that he went to? And the massage lady was like, "You want to spill a duntling?" And he's like, "I don't know what that meant." And she started tugging on my penis. You see that? As emergency staff were unable to isolate and control the disturbance, command was established in central control, and Lieutenant Salerno assumed the role of I can't read either. Initial incident commander. The initial incident commander, Lieutenant Salerno, established the incident command post in. We need to look at the map as simultaneously. Jesus.
Jax agrees.
Hello. Okay.
So they go
so in
from-
the control room,
They go from control room.
which I don't even see. Is that a thing? Are we reading this wrong? Control?
Conference room.
Chapel? Office? Closet? Okay, established with Sergeant Salerno. The commander was managing both the incident and facility operations for an extended period of time. Once Warden Lawson returned to her office, an ultimate incident commander, UIC, established operations in the warden's conference room. Dr. Stephen Kaiser was also safely located in his office. There were several situations that led to questions regarding the authority of the UIC and contradicted initial incident commander of the CNT. For example, gang leaders Ferguson and Yazzie made initial contact with Lieutenant Salerno through contraband cell phones. He's shady. As Lieutenant Salerno was actively negotiating a truce with Ferguson in Unit 3 and Yazzie in Unit 1, the ultimate incident commander, Warden Lawson, made the decision to cut off phone lines due to inmates using contraband phones. CNT communications were abruptly ended without CNT knowledge or input. So the warden and Lieutenant Salerno are a little bit shady.
So the warden was trying to figure out how to get them to make up by being a little sus, give them some phones. The warden wasn't attached to that. That was just the lieutenant.
Yeah, it said regarding the authority of the UIC. So the gang leaders made initial contact with Salerno through contraband cell phones, which means Lieutenant Salerno was actively negotiating a truce with them in the separate units, and then Warden Lawson figured that out, I think. Or he just decided to cut off all phone lines.
So.
Yeah. So he decided to cut off all phone lines because the inmates were using contraband phones.
No, I think they knew that they were using contraband phones, and they were using that in part of the truce. But then once they figured out that all the riot was going on, they turned off all phone lines because they knew it would make it easier for them to make this riot happen. Like, I thought that was what they were saying was in the truce, because they were being shady, they were letting them have, like, oh, well, we'll give you this if you talk to him.
Maybe.
And they were being shady that way, and that's why they knew they were using contraband phones, so they just cut off everyone's line.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Let's see.
That's the way I heard it that way.
External resources, the Cumberland PD, Fire, and EMT were required to effectively resolve the situation. However, due to the location of the LFOA Cumberland facility, resources were delayed, in some instances for extended periods. Staff were not immediately dispatched to liaison with external mutual aid agencies arriving on facility grounds, which frustrated stakeholders.
That's the best one of the whole podcast.
That was frightening.
Episode 9. We got the best burp so far.
I felt that one in my knees.
Y'all give me a solid 8. I can get a 10 someday, but I need somewhere to reach, you know? Thank you, Coca-Cola. Back to the program. Sorry if that smells like Coke in my stomach. I didn't smell anything. I just don't know if you did.
But now I don't want to breathe.
Um,
Staff family members were not contacted, and a family center was not established. So the way the staff and all of the aid agencies kind of responded to this was really bad, is what's happening here. 2 visitors went missing for a long period of time, which extended additional staff resources beyond what should be considered standard in an incident. Inmate Dwyer and at least one other inmate were able to access a separate building and the roof of said building where Dwyer was found and murdered.
So both of them had the same access.
Well, what they're saying is that 2 inmates had access, whether we thought it, would have been somebody who wasn't an inmate that murdered him. Maybe they're trying to do that to throw us off.
Oh, I thought it was actually the visitors because I was reading visitors up there.
It says inmate Dwyer and at least one other inmate were able to access a separate building and the roof of said building where Dwyer was found and murdered, showing a lack of perimeter control and appropriate lockdown measures. Yeah, so the staff really just messed up.
Yeah.
Although this incident was considered complex and the size of both the response and incident management far exceeded the resources of the facility, the transfer of command from the initial incident commander, Lieutenant Salerno, to the ultimate incident commander, Warden Lawson, did not take place until 1645 hours, 2 hours after the initial incident began.
So they tried to hold it in and be like, we got this. And then like 2 hours later, they finally called in and were like, yo, can you help?
I think so.
Okay.
The initial incident commander performed other duties not associated with the role, such as taking part in negotiations with inmates in conjunction with CNT and leaving the command post to establish a perimeter post.
Oh, and that was never supposed to be his job? Like he should call on someone else for that? Okay.
Recommendations. Okay. Administrative. Announce the designation, name, time, and location of the incident commander facility-wide. So this is what they should have been doing, I think. Meet with mutual aid agencies, local fire, PD, EMT, to discuss strategies for resource sharing and integration. This could be like to prevent, I think is what's happening here. Conduct drills and exercises with mutual aid partners to ensure seamless response and integration with local law enforcement, fire, medical, and media during an incident. Once sufficient incident management team members arrive at the facility, ensure the incident commander relocates to their position. Reinforce the expectation that only one person, the incident commander, is in charge of the situation. Although there certainly should remain constraints on the number of times a transfer of command takes place in the critical first hour of an incident, consider reviewing when to initiate a transfer of command to a more qualified individual based on incident size, scope, and complexity. During major incidents or significant events, create a facility operations position.
Battery?
Did it die? Can I keep reading?
Yeah, you can keep going. This doesn't seem to be a...
To manage the unaffected... Yeah, do I have to read it?
It seems like...
Conduct over-the-counter medical pill line in the living units.
I would say go ahead and read it just in case there's some random shit that we're not going to think about, but I doubt it.
Okay. Establish a family notification process and consider working with local organizations to establish a family center where family members can assemble and receive information. Ensure all visitors are accounted for during escorts to and from visitor center. Conduct inmate policy relations. Conduct over-the-counter medical pill lines in the living units. Ensure that the use of memorandums that establish inmate movement schedules practices are routed through security custody channels for approved and dissemination. Implement policy and procedures that direct staff to immediately control inmate movement following a warning shot resulting in compliance. Consider reducing the number of inmates out for a day room and mini yard to a single gallery. Consider limiting or reducing day room and mini yards to times when major programs and activities are not open. Review the policy on the use of warning shots to ensure that they only serve as an imminent warning to the immediate use of deadly force. Review the policy regarding establishing communications with prisoners in possession of contraband cell phones. Consider ways to create an open dialogue with perceived leaders of prison gangs so that factions may negotiate a quick resolution to any violent events. Revise procedures to ensure only those porter cleaning supplies that are in use are checked out to inmates and securely stored when not in use. Review and revise the inmate property items and excess paper to limit flammability. Oh yeah, because there were like tools and stuff with the other guy. Consider the requirements to gain authorization for the pre-planned use of deadly force from an authority higher than the initial incident commander. In conclusion, the ability to respond to emergencies is often hindered, therefore, not by a desire to perform, but due to inexperience and lack of practice. In short, proactive planning and reactive problem solving are essential. A thorough after-action review of any facility emergency is important in order to recognize systems that function well and those that need improvement. This review process has provided LFOA with the opportunity to examine internal prison monitoring and practices. Since staff from all operational and program areas will likely be utilized during an actual riot, such as described in this report, frequent rehearsal is necessary with full facility participation. Correctional agencies should also account for staff attrition and retrain emergency procedures as needed. On the day of the incident, there were many staff members who responded appropriately and performed well. After the facility's order was restored, countless hours have been spent in reviewing the levels of response and discussing ways to improve processes in the future.
Some guard named Josh was just like, I know they were talking about me. I did my job right.
You know.
He's like, oh, they were talking about me. That was me. I did that right, honey. I did that right.
The prison riot of June 10, 2018 at LFOA Cumberland began with a disturbance, which in retrospect was not responded to as accurately and effectively as possible, thus developing into a riot. Dynamics among the inmate population, perception that inmates' complaints were not being heard, and the territorial control of contraband and all contributed to the onset of the incident. This report was an attempt to summarize the events and provide recommendations for improvement in order to mitigate such occurrences in the future. And that's the incident report.
We did it!
And the one thing, like, good clues, you know, we'll keep that around. I want an autopsy of this man. I know they said how he died, but
This will come back soon.
I think we start here.
I think we should read the letter.
You think so? But it was found under. Maybe that's supposed to be not be read till later.
Yeah, but the reason that I almost think maybe they just did it as extra was because they talk, like the person who sent it to us talks about the letter he sent.
That's true. Also, this is going to be something.
Ooh, we got a code.
There's some code. I don't know if you can zoom. But the light is going to set, and it's going to make me look like really good in this golden hour. I'm kidding. Okay.
No, she's not. She's probably the most conceited human being I've ever met.
I'm literally the least.
She's not.
Okay.
You the bomb.
To the one. People are going to think I'm a fucking raging bitch.
Yeah, can we start that? Nina's a raging bitch. Probably like the hardest to be around.
Nina really cares about what other people think, and
yeah, Nina really
cares about her looks.
Nina likes to tell people they're eating too much
I don't
carbs.
wear makeup.
She likes to tell people they should lay off the carbs when they've like eaten 2 more crackers than they should or something like that.
As I'm like, I'm hungry. Lay off me. I'm starving.
All right, no, Nina Musolino is a good soul. Good soul.
You guys, this reminds me, wait, did I ever tell you that letter, that R. Kelly letter that I have? The letter from R. Kelly? Okay. Well, the way this starts out, I have to tell you now. We can't just say
Yeah, no,
okay.
this is a great
The summer of
piece.
2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now with Ben Becker.
We're just all about the freaking cliffhangers these days. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's gotten into me. I don't know why I'm going so ham at these to be continueds, but it's happening. I will blame the massive amount of editing that it takes. But trust me, 1 week from now, you're going to be hearing a bunch more information. And I will say, looking into the future, after getting all this done, because this was all recorded at once, and I've split it into multiple, pieces, Nina and I have some new things we've stumbled upon. It's going to be, 3-4 episodes of just really good freaking detective work, okay? I don't have the mental capacity to make some really good, charismatic statements, but it's dope and you're going to like it. And I'm not doing meth. Nina was not, she was joking. I've never done that and I'll never do it. And my cat is a good cat. Jax is nice and she's sleeping over there like a sweet cat. Alright, bye. With Ben Becker. Woo!